The hardest thing about chasing your dreams is when the ones you love try to hold you back because they don't understand what you're fighting for. The weight of their expectations is heavy, and it often makes me wonder if I'll ever have the courage to truly live for myself. Family pressure feels like an invisible force, pulling you in a direction you never intended to go. It's difficult to distinguish between their desires for you and your own, and the line between love and control can become so blurred that it leaves you questioning your own worth. The expectations of family can be suffocating, especially when they don't see the world the way you do. I'm torn between honoring their wishes and staying true to my own path, and it's a constant battle that leaves me feeling lost and uncertain of which way to go. It's exhausting to navigate the fine line between pleasing my family and following my own heart. Every time I try to take a step towards my dreams, I feel the weight of their desires pulling me back, making me second guess everything I truly want. There's a constant tug of war inside of me. One part of me wants to make my family proud, but the other part yearns for freedom, independence, and the pursuit of my own happiness. It's like trying to walk forward while being pulled in two opposite directions. The pressure from family is like a storm, threatening to drown my own aspirations. I want to stand strong and claim my individuality, but the waves of their expectations keep crashing over me, making it hard to breathe. It's hard to stay focused on what I want when everyone around me has their own idea of what's best for me. The more I try to forge my own path, the more I feel their voices creeping into my thoughts, drowning out my own. I sometimes wonder if I'll ever find the strength to break free from the weight of family pressure. It's like being trapped between loyalty and the desire to live life on my own terms. And every step I take in one direction feels like a betrayal of the other. Every time I try to make a decision for myself, I feel a deep sense of guilt. The love I have for my family keeps me tethered to their expectations, and yet my heart aches for the life I truly want to create. It's as if I'm constantly walking on a tightrope between my dreams and my family's desires. Each step feels like a gamble, and I'm afraid of falling into a life that isn't truly mine. I wish I could explain to my family that following my own path doesn't mean I love them any less. But the more I chase my own dreams, the more I feel like I'm drifting away from them, and it hurts more than I could ever put into words. Family pressure isn't just about expectations. It's about love and wanting the best for me. But it can sometimes feel more like a chain, holding me back from the person I know I am meant to become. The hardest part of this journey is feeling torn between two worlds. The one where my family's approval is everything, and the one where my soul yearns for freedom. The struggle to balance them both leaves me exhausted and confused. It's not that I don't appreciate my family's love and concern for me, but their pressure to follow their dreams for me has left me questioning if I even know what I want anymore. The hardest decision I face every day is choosing between what my family expects of me and what my heart is telling me. It's not that I don't want to make them proud, but the cost of sacrificing my own happiness feels too high. I often feel like I'm living a double life, one for my family's expectations and one for the person I truly am. The more I try to please them, the more I lose sight of who I'm meant to be. There are days when I wish I could just follow my heart, but the pressure from my family feels like a constant reminder that I must live up to their standards. I wonder if I'll ever be able to break free from the expectations that weigh me down. It's painful to realize that the more I try to build my own life, the more I seem to drift further away from my family's ideals. The push and pull between their desires and my own is a constant battle in my mind and heart. Family pressure is a constant reminder that love can sometimes come with strings attached. The more I try to be true to myself, the more I feel like I'm letting them down, and it's a burden I don't know how to bear. I often wonder if I'm living my life for me or for the people I love. Every time I try to go after my dreams, it feels like I'm betraying their vision for my life, and it's a struggle I'm not sure how to resolve. The weight of family expectations is one of the hardest burdens to carry. It's not that I don't want to make them happy. It's just that I've realized my own happiness may not align with their vision for me. Sometimes, the more I try to live the life I want, the more I feel like I'm falling short in their eyes. Family pressure is a silent force that shapes my every decision, and it often makes me question if I'll ever be truly free to live for myself. The hardest part is realizing that the people I love the most may not always understand the choices I make. Their expectations are rooted in love, but the pressure feels like a constant weight that pulls me away from who I really am. No matter how much I try to explain myself, I feel like I'm always failing to meet their expectations. It's frustrating to be pulled in so many different directions, and every day feels like a battle between duty and desire. I try so hard to please my family, but in doing so, I lose pieces of myself. The more I give in to their pressure, the further away I feel from my true desires, and it's a painful realization. The pressure from my family isn't just external, it's internalized. Their desires have become my own, and now I struggle to even know what I want without feeling guilty or selfish. I sometimes feel like I'm living someone else's dream, and no matter how much I try to break free, the expectations from my family keep pulling me back. It's like trying to fly with weights tied to my feet. It's painful to acknowledge that my family's love often comes with conditions. I want to make them proud, but at what cost? The price of suppressing my own dreams feels too high, but the fear of disappointing them is even greater. The more I try to carve out my own path, the more I feel like I'm walking away from my family. The guilt is overwhelming, but so is the desire to live a life that's truly mine. Every time I think I've made a choice for myself, I feel the pressure from my family creeping in. It's like trying to build a house on unstable ground. Every decision feels like it might crumble under their expectations. Family pressure often makes me feel like I'm failing at both life and love. I can't seem to find a way to please everyone, and in the end, I'm left wondering if I'm living for myself or for them. The constant pull between my dreams and my family's expectations feels like a never-ending struggle. It's hard to know if I'm making the right choice when it seems like every decision leads to a conflict of loyalty. I wish I could find a way to balance my love for my family with my need to live for myself. The pressure is overwhelming, and sometimes it feels like I'm trapped in a cage of their making with no way to escape. The hardest thing about family pressure is that it's not just about the big decision, but the little ones too. Every time I try to assert my independence, I feel the weight of their expectations pushing me back. The deeper I get into my journey, the more I realize that family pressure isn't always about love. It's about control. And sometimes that control feels like it's robbing me of my own sense of self. I often wonder if my family will ever understand that I need to live for myself. The pressure is constant, and it makes every decision feel like a battle between their desires and my own sense of self-worth. Trying to balance my family's needs with my own is exhausting. The more I try to meet their expectations, the more I feel like I'm losing myself, and I can't help but wonder if it's worth it in the end. The hardest thing about family pressure is realizing that their dreams for me don't always align with mine. And yet, the love they offer often feels conditional, like they can't love me fully unless I live up to their vision. Family pressure is like a storm that never ends, always threatening to sweep me away from my own desires. No matter how hard I fight, I can't seem to escape the tide of their expectations. It's hard to imagine a future where I can truly live for myself, free from the weight of my family's dreams. Every day, I wonder if I'm strong enough to break free, or if I'll always be bound to their desires. Sometimes, I feel like my family's love comes with strings attached, and the tighter they pull those strings, the more I feel like I'm losing my grip on who I truly am. I wish there was a way to make my family understand that my desire for independence doesn't mean I love them any less. But every time I try to explain, I feel like I'm pushing them further away. Family pressure feels like a constant reminder that I am never enough as I am. I have to be something more, something they approve of, and it's exhausting trying to keep up with their expectations. There are days when I want to scream that I'm tired of living under their shadow, but the love I have for my family, it keeps me silent. The pressure is suffocating, and I don't know how much longer I can carry it.